Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello and
Welcome
welcome.
to welcome to episode 52.
You know what?
Welcome,
It's
welcome.
your 52 because you didn't actually with that math you
Oh,
get like
is it?
version 10 or something.
You gotta get these right, Calvin.
Is it 53?
53. Yep.
It's
50.
crazy how I've gotten it. I'm like consistently like on my accuracy on average over the last 50 episodes, pretty good. You know, like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's gotten better. You
If you
dialed it in.
average it out, it's just it's getting it down to that very precise
You get
number.
like a solid
Um,
C every week.
well, I think I also definitely try and forget because I think it's kind of funny.
Mm. hmm
Because each week I'm genuinely like, okay, I gotta try and remember.
Boy.
Yeah. Well,
Let's open us up today. We got
yeah,
some
we have
dope
some fun
shots we want to
stuff.
All
talk
right.
about. I
Check
love
out
this
Yeah.
new
some of
little
those.
segment. It's fun, gets us going.
Well,
Yeah.
Kari, are you first? Who's the
I
planet?
am first.
take it
I
away.
Let's
have brought
fucking.
this movie. Can you guys guess what movie this is from? You guys both see it?
The Men in Black?
Nope. It's fine.
How
It's
old
okay.
is it?
It's
Yeah,
pretty
how old is
recent.
it?
Last
The
few
Oh.
creator?
years. Last three,
Is this
4
a
years.
Marvel? Is
No,
this a Marvel?
I don't know.
it's
I don't know
fine.
what this is.
It's Don't Look Up.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Pretty generic shot, but I thought it was a
It's pretty. It
nice
looks like
example
decently
of
well
a
done.
yeah. That was a nice example of an Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there's a big explosion there going on. It's not ideal, but I
I
don't know.
always like.
Yeah, I thought it was well done. I just feel I'm like I buy this. This
Yep.
looks good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like I
Yeah,
can
that's
see a little bit though of that little you know how you can see the scattering underneath the explosion smoke. So like
Mhm.
on the screen left of it, you see like this the lights underneath it.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell it's a comp trick because like up here you can see like he just faded off
Yeah.
some of it, so it just kind of looks like his blur just kind of got masked partially over here,
Right.
but it's still good. It's still good.
Yeah, it definitely is a bit of
Oh,
a. Yeah.
But
This
yeah,
is
That's
like.
true. That's true. It still looks good though.
yeah,
Now that you
looks
It
point
good.
that
looks
out, I
good.
can't
It
unsee
looks
that,
good.
but outside
Yeah,
of
we
that,
could nitpick it to hell and back.
Yeah,
This
I
is
don't
one
mean
of
to actually
those.
pick it. That's such a small like little. That's funny. But yeah, what were you
This is
saying,
one of
Alvin?
those shots that, like, I mean, you have to see it, but like because this is like the planet's definitely probably DMP past a certain point. This is one of those shots that I would love to have run through like Magnific or something else to just make look a bit prettier, like the
Magnific.
clouds. Yeah,
Oh, like an
like the
AI
clouds on the
thing.
top right feels like just AI make prettier for some of these
Hmm.
like detail. Like the clouds on the top right just kind of feel like shit noise to me. I'm sure they're real, but it doesn't look
Yeah.
pretty. I don't
When they're
know.
not in the sunlight too, they're not gonna catch
That's
as
true.
much
That's true.
shape. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like there's a lot of candidates for stuff like this where you can run it through some filters, especially some AI filters, and you get like so much more detail and like just random stuff for free.
Hmm.
It's always kind of
Controversial
fun.
take, but it's yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, if there's one thing
So
AI, I'm happy to admit AI can kick our ass in. It's adding bullshit details to stuff. That is where it
but the
absolutely
question is if
dominates.
it's actually motivated detail. I'd be curious to see the result too, if it actually is good. But
Sometimes
I'm
it looks
also hesitant
crazy.
because
Yeah,
adding
it's definitely
details
one of
is
those things. Like when I've done it, we do like four. One being like I mean you have like the original image and then you have like an A B C D E and each one gets like you've cranked values more and more with each one so to speak and you
mhm.
end up like key mixing just between all of them because the final one always has like why is there a motorcycle in
Yeah.
16th century Napoleon France. That's not when Napoleon was around, but you know what I mean, like it doesn't make
Yeah,
any
I get
sense.
you.
So um, although it would be fun to get a motorcycle, or it doesn't. It won't be a motorcycle, but it's like when you're zoomed out and kind of squinting and looking at it as a detail, it's like it kind of looks like a motorcycle. Like yeah. Anyways,
Yep.
Cool. And
Very
next up
cool.
we
Very
got
cool.
what is?
I
Wait, can
recognize
we?
it.
Are we? Could we guess what this is from,
Okay. I
kid?
guess. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Kari might have seen
Oh,
it.
is this Netflix?
Nope, not Netflix.
Oh,
This is a
oh.
feature film. Is this the one with the Tom Cruise and the
Mm-mm.
the
Uh,
futuristic.
okay, I'll give you another hint. This is an animated movie.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is animated or something. I was gonna ask if it's a trailer.
Animated movie. What style does this? This Lightyear?
This
This
is
is something
Lightyear.
I was gonna
It is.
say. I
Yeah,
was
Yeah, I
gonna say
remember Lightyear
Incredibles
looking
or Lightyear.
Lightyear
extra
was so
good.
pretty.
Yeah,
I can't remember the plot of it so much. I remember it being okay, but it was very very pretty.
yeah. I
Yeah, I just
remember that the trailers for Lightyear were pretty crazy. Yeah. So this
yeah
is some
there were
render man shenanigans. Look at that. That's
yeah
pretty
that
cool.
was just when I was going through to pick my shot for today, just in my deck. I was just scrolling through. I was like, oh, this one's pretty. I clicked it. I was like, oh, I forgot this is animated. Like this looks so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Love the
You can see
environment, like
that.
the detail in the ground. Very
Yeah,
pretty, realistic looking.
There's
that's
something.
Star Wars.
Mm.
I've always wondered for like animated films what kind of skies they use. If they
Mhm.
use photo real skies or if they
Yeah, I
like
was
generate
wondering that
them to
too.
make it stylized still or
I could see, yeah, probably different for every movie. I can see this movie using maybe realistic skies because I mean it looks
yeah, it looks
like a
pretty.
sky dome, you
Yeah.
know.
With
Yeah,
maybe
just
some treatment.
What part of the
yeah,
movie
maybe
was
they.
this? You said you saw it because I haven't actually seen the movie.
I don't remember. I saw it when it came out like 2 years
Mm.
ago, 3 years ago maybe. But yeah, very pretty. I would recommend watching it or throwing it on. It's definitely
They're in the
pretty
background.
I don't know. I don't know.
well
This
Put
was
it on
constructed.
pretty.
mute.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
I don't know. It was that pretty. That looks really, really good.
yeah. There's a lot of
It kind of reminds
realistic
me of
stuff.
like that Blizzard style we were talking about, where it is like photo really, but there's like
Hmm.
kind of the waxiness, the hyper pretty, hyper painterly.
Yeah, definitely in some of the other stuff, especially when you see the characters, because it looks like Buzz Lightyear and his
Yeah. Oh
weirdly
God.
shaped head and shit.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't look Blizzard-esque. I would say definitely it's like kind of the environments and stuff over
Hmm.
everything, but
That seems to be the kind of like the way to go. Because even Toy Story 4, everything just looked photorealistic in the
right.
environments. But then it was just the silly toys running around
Yeah,
and the characters.
Yeah. It can be a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but very pretty.
Very cool. Very
Very
cool.
pretty. All right, move
And
along. Alan's
speaking of
got two for
Blizzard,
us.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Blizzard, had Blizzard on the mind.
yeah.
So both these shots, I mean, these are both from like the same sequence. Obviously, this is from the War Within trailer from like a year ago or something.
Hmm.
Um, I just thought they're pretty, and I think this is like very much like kind of peak Blizzard character. Like this is probably a little bit more like hyper real than I think they usually go. Just like Anduin looked pretty insane. That's this guy.
Mm.
He also looked like so beat up, especially that second image, the bottom one. I
Yeah,
thought the
yeah.
sequence was cool. Like the rest of the sequence is them kind of just like literally in the middle of a desert. And I think sometimes like one of the things I'm always scared of is characters unconnected to the ground that are fake with a background. Because
Oh.
you know what I mean? Like it can
Mm-hmm.
always end up being this like, oh God, why aren't they connected? It feels a bit weird. This feels green screeny. This feels,
Right.
and sometimes that can be just justified. But I thought they did a really good job with it. I mean, I guess it's
True,
sunset, so the
true.
lighting, the motivation for the lighting is like kind of, assaulting your face,
Yeah.
going sunset, sunset, sunset. But yeah, I thought this was
Yeah, I bet too. If
definitely
you if
neat.
you watched through and paid attention, I bet you could probably see like the sky dome kind of rotate too, when they like look back and forth to always get like the pretty lighting, but then also make it look connected, like
Well,
you
I'm
say.
pretty sure in one
Probably.
direction there's the sun, and then I think like 30, 40 degrees off is a
Mm.
big fucking sword that's glowing. That's like the size of a planet
Oh,
that's
right, right,
stuck in the
right.
planet. So I think there is like another light source. But
Mm.
irregardless, it's
Yeah, there was one thing that I worked on years ago that I won't say what it was, but there was like a sequence where like throughout the sequence it always looked pretty to have the light on a certain side. If you watch through the sequence, like where it does like some 180s throughout the scene, and the lighting like just follows you around the whole time, but you never notice really because it was like an action sequence. But
I have a shot that's a oneer that involves the camera doing like a full 180, and there's three suns like in the lighting because they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to see on the water they wanted to see like the constant, like like the reflections that you get when you're looking at like the sun
The
when
pretty
you're looking down on
reflections.
water,
Yeah, the
and yeah,
pings. Yeah.
yeah, the pings. So
Yeah.
there was 3 suns.
Yeah, I think if it's not like too distracting or like too breaking, like I think that's
No, at
totally
the end it
fine.
got played down outside of like kind of the primary lighting, and just ended up with like prettier lighting. And I'm
Yeah,
sure that was probably justified for some reason. We just did it with extra suns. It looked pretty, so
yeah.
whatever.
If it looks pretty and it doesn't stand out and like pop every single shot where you jump back and forth, then I think whatever, looks
It's
pretty.
hard to
Go
This
for
yeah,
it.
is
it's hard to
true.
complain about. Anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
go
Very
Blizz.
cool. Very cool.
Well,
Very
you know
cool.
what?
Go the people at or
Yeah,
the town.
I have a friend. A friend of ours worked on this.
Yeah, that
Very
top
cool.
one looks straight up like if you just take a
Yeah,
quick
yeah, yeah.
glance at it, it
It's
just looks like
gorgeous.
a photo.
I think
Nice
there is also
portrait.
like some inherent risk taking with we're gonna put a CG character in essentially just a big HDR. And that's
Right.
all we're gonna do. Like, I'm sure they did way more work on. That's not what I'm saying, but as in like just a CG character by himself, he's not getting covered by Atmo and smoke and all this other crap, and it's just him and an empty like field
I
with
get
another
what you mean.
CG
Yeah,
character.
like
Like it
full
kind of takes
hero,
exactly like
no
full on
mask
here.
to hide
You can't.
boots.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
nowhere to hide, and
Yeah,
you're up close in his eyes. Yeah, that's
I'm
yeah,
sure if it like it wasn't this pretty, especially like the characters and the lighting, like people probably would have said like, oh, Blizzard's getting lazy, but just
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it looks so good, you're like, well, man. They can make two dudes talking to each other look amazing.
That's literally the sequences. He's
Yeah.
having a conversation with like another big pong guy. He's a big
also hats
cow.
off to the acting here too, right? 'Cause I remember that being
Oh, it's
Mm.
quite
incredible.
emotional. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
all the
mean,
pieces
Anduin as a
come
character
together.
is like so complicated, and yeah, he's been tortured, and he's all internal struggles and blah 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 blah. It's too bad the rest of the story is horrible because this was such a good trailer. What can you do? Anyways,
What can
That's
you
our
do?
shots. Yeah. Some more good
Yeah.
ones.
Well, on the topic of Blizzard, there's a new one, right? A new trailer out.
That's true. That's true.
want to watch that right now?
You want to
Oh
skim
yeah,
through
give me a
that?
second to
What's the
pull
best
that
way to
up.
do that? I guess you bring it up in Milanote and we do 3, 2, 1. I don't know
Yep.
what's easiest.
We could do
Yeah,
that.
sounds like good.
Just mute it. Alright, go on. Alright. Okie dokie. Let me know when everybody's ready. We can just play through it. You
I
good?
am.
Yeah.
Did you paste it in the? Where'd you paste it?
Calvin did a bit ago. It should just be slightly up.
Oh, I see it. It's up now.
Cool. Alright. Good.
3, 2,
Yep.
1.
Play. Whoa. Alright, here we go. Blizzard Entertainment.
I mean, look at all like the little
Um,
flies and motes in this first shot. Like it feels pretty good. Definitely
Yeah,
don't hate
lots
it.
of texture. Lots of texture to the.
Like depth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also like a swamp. I've definitely canoed through a swamp that has like that level of shit.
Mm.
Does she have skin peeling on her face from like a sunburn? She totally
Maybe.
it looks like
Lots
she
of
does.
peach
That's
fuzz.
crazy.
Whenever you see peach fuzz, you're like, wow, that looks. That was just adds that little bit
That's what I
of.
say. Peach Fuzz sells everything. You know.
Yeah, especially on that
Ish.
guy's ears. You can see like the rim light just catching the few hairs.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
You think that hurts?
What?
Her hand stuff. Like
Yeah.
the- probably.
Yeah,
Well,
she feels pain.
Yes.
Look quite
Yeah, I'm
painful.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
I wonder, like,
Yeah,
what
wow,
makes
it's
these
pretty.
characters look. Oh, that like the shot. Yeah, that shot looks really, really real.
I mean, every now and then there's
What
moments
makes
where, yeah,
them-
exactly.
Is it the subsurface? Like, what makes them
I think it's how shiny they are.
stylized?
I think it's
Like-
it's just the
Mm,
spec,
the amount of sweat on them and stuff.
spec.
Yeah.
I think this is what you're shooting for when you're doing makeup and on set. I think that's kind of the thing. Is like this is like the ultimate perfect version of it. Like it's got tons of detail, and it's like perfect lighting, and the makeup's like fine tuned for every single shot, type of thing. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think there's just inherent issues with the perfection of it. But yeah, what a creepy.
Yeah, very gross. Very, very gross. But very pretty.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty. Like, I mean, these are literally, there's no wide shots here. It's just close up on character faces. And then her arm getting ripped apart.
Yeah. There's
You
some,
know what I
there's
mean?
some
Like, I guess there is a wide, there's some
Yeah,
wides
yeah.
now, but like, it's
Mhm.
impressive how much they really believe in their characters, like their character design and look dev, because it
Yeah.
always looks so pretty. I forgot how brutal some of these shots are.
What's
Yeah,
the?
what the...
What do you guys think the time, or maybe even know the time schedule for these are? Like
Like how long they take?
the timeline.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think um they're not insane. I think they're comparable to what I know they do get nitpicked for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
that's
that
right.
like I think they're similar to like big shots of what we've done at studios. But I know for a fact they get nitpicked for a long time. Like, somebody told me that. Especially like eye stuff goes back and forth for like that's what they're big on. For
True.
like months.
Very good.
Very pretty. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I would love to work on more like CG game trailers. That would be so fun. I'd like to do
I
one
want
of
to
That
those
do
would be
things
game
one
nice.
day.
trailers like this that are VFX. Not here's a render from our janky game engine. No, you don't have an alpha. You know what I mean? Can't you just
Mm.
wrote it? You know, like I don't want that.
Yeah, like rendered cinematics. Yeah.
Like this
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
is
yeah.
like fully rendered cinematic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I would like to do. It would be very cool.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Someday. Someday.
Oh, look at all those cool pre-order bonuses.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
Boy.
Well,
Yeah, it's
right
such
now
a
this is the corner where Calvin talks about how great of a game it is. So feel free
they
to
Yeah, Calvin's come around.
have
You
mute
go back
they
into
have
for the
here.
a
next.
they have a new
If you check
season
the
where they
timestamp
overhauled
below,
everything.
we'll be able to skip ahead to that.
Yeah, and
And
your
There's a
timestamp
new
here where
season.
he
They
says the
overhauled
game's
everything. It's
garbage.
fun. Go play it if you didn't like it on release. If you didn't like it on release, it's fun. It's actually been funny. I've had tons of friends like message me like, "Are you playing D4 again?"
Mhm.
Like all the people that like played it back in the day and got sad that it was terrible, but now
You're gonna
everyone's like,
join the raid
"Yo,
group.
no, there's no raids." And actually, they might be adding raids in the expansion, which is that's not it's the type of game to raid in. It's much more casual, just run around and blow up monsters.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than like an MMO kind of hardcore, like gear, lockouts. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, just not my favorite type of game. I enjoyed playing through the campaign, but nothing I'd
Yeah.
go back to. Like when 5 comes out, whatever year that is, like I'll probably be about the same. Or like, yeah, if there's nothing else out around the same time, like maybe I'll play it.
Yeah, should have waited for Game Pass because I think that
Yeah.
happened. I don't know when they got added.
That
to
happened
Games Pass,
recently, so it's like at least 6 months.
Yeah. Honestly, I just
Yeah.
think it's like a worse version of Lost Ark, so I just avoid.
That's not a comparison. That's two different. That's literally being like
That
a
was
worse
Kari
version
trying to make
of
Calvin
Team
very
Fortress
mad.
2. It's like, yeah, okay, dude, cool thing, I guess. I don't know. Those are not the same game.
Yeah, I don't know anything about those games. No, yeah, yeah. Maybe someday I'll
Anyways.
get back into it, but
No,
it's
you
good.
won't.
No.
No, you won't.
I can see you guys getting into those games if you actually started to play games for like. I have 20 hours a week to burn, but I don't feel like either of you are kind of like that.
Nope. I
No,
burn my
you just got-
20 hours in other ways
playing Control for
by
the 5th
playing
time.
by
By playing
with.
Control for the 82nd time to look for
I
an
played it
extra
twice.
spelling mistake
People,
and
twice. All right,
twice a week.
twice a week. Yeah.
Yeah, I only play twice
No.
a week, guys.
No, I just been kicking off assets, making assets in Solaris for this whole week.
You've been building.
Well, that's
your...
an extra boring conversation.
But
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on this week, though. We have Apple announcements. Those are pretty big.
Yeah. Just happened yesterday.
We have Elon getting upset about it as well. That was newsworthy, I think.
Of course.
Listen, all the stuff. He's so predictable. He rages and brings up all like these kind of points. It's like, okay, but if you own the company, you would be saying absolutely none of these things. So I'm kind of over it, bro. I know you're just grandstanding because they make more money than you right now. So I don't go buy
there is
them.
that side, but I do Yeah. That Apple, I don't know how I feel about GPT on my phone in general.
Well, it sounds
Like,
like it's Apple's in-house stuff, and then it
Yeah,
talks to GPT if it needs help.
yeah,
and you have to like say, you have to give it permission as well, but it just still seems a bit like,
yeah,
because you have to like, oh yeah, Siri will ask you if you can use GPT before
yeah. For
using
the
it.
GPT related stuff, like it'll be like, hey, do you want to send this to Chat GPT? And you could be like, yes or no. It seemed like, I mean, most of the stuff that was just Apple's stuff, like trained on just like the Apple internal stuff that's even run on your device for most of the stuff, except for some of the stuff. Like
That stuff is
that
cool,
was,
sure.
yeah, that'll just be so handy. That'll make
Yeah.
Siri usable, like more usable, where it like knows the stuff on your phone and like where you can just say like, what time did my mom say she was coming over, and it knows your mom's text or whatever. It's like, oh, she's coming over at 3. Although I can't wait for that to come out and you're gonna try it, and it's like, oh, that's just she's coming over and reads the wrong text or whatever, and it's like that's not what she said. But yeah,
I
very
think
cool.
that's like the annoying part about AI is it can be so confidently incorrect. It doesn't
Right.
error out. It just goes like Tuesdays are 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, Tuesdays are 4 times a week. You're kind of
Right.
fucked. Like, there's no indication that it's having issues.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
so
the coolest thing that I thought from the Apple thing was the like the iPad calculator, Kari. I know it sounds
I
stupid to say,
did.
but
That was crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they've always said like
I
people have always asked like why isn't there an iPad calculator? Like, oh, we only want to do it if we can make it better or whatever. And they finally announced it. People were like, oh yeah, they're doing it. But then they're like, okay. And then you could also with your Apple Pencil, you can just straight up write equations and you just do an equal sign and it'll just tell you whatever. And on your page you could do like x equals 4 and then like y equals 5 over here. Then you can still do your little equation down here and do equals, and it'll just
it'll
spit out the
graph
answer.
stuff as
It
well.
can do graphs for you. I was like, all right, they
Yeah.
did do something pretty cool. Like that would be great just for doing whatever instead of like you do your calculator like I have to figure out how to type in this thing or whatever. You can just literally draw out what you need to do and it'll just spit
Yeah.
out the
Yeah.
answer for you, which is pretty cool.
True. I think it's cool
people are
too.
going to learn quickly that they don't know what proper order of operations are. Every
Yeah.
time there's an
I was
order
gonna
of
say this is
operations
like
question online, people get it so fucking wrong. Or
Yeah,
like, and then if people violently quickly learn about like implied operations and stuff that's
Pim
kind of like
does.
soft rules.
yeah. That's
Well,
You
like
guys
there's
know
what I.
Pim
PEMDAS,
does,
but there's
right?
also like correct syntax and interact. Like there's also like implied things that we just do. Yeah.
Such as
Um,
give us an example.
like going left to right is kind of implied, but there's examples
Okay.
where
Cool.
that can start to cause issues or that doesn't matter and people think it matters. It's a whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. And then also like not
All right.
specifying when things are getting multiplied. Uh, uh, like multiplication order when it comes to brackets can be dumb. I remember there's like a series of questions that go around all the time on the internet, which are everyone ends up answering them wrong because it's all just like how you were taught. Even if you follow PEMDAS, it's all like everyone gets like slightly different answers based on these kind of like implied operations.
Yeah, you
Um,
always see those too. Like you guys aren't following like the one you said. I don't
This
know
is
what you
just
said.
I know the one you're talking. It's
oh wait, hold
distributive
on.
property.
Well, then
That's
I
the
Yeah,
know
one
what
it's
that.
like
bed mass is the one
the
I
one that
was taught.
people were fucking up. Were like, okay, so you have
Oh, you go ahead.
or and then the one that really was fucking people was like
Whoa,
something like
isn't math fun?
It is
God,
fun.
like something like this, and then wait, hold on, and then
No.
also like
Because because you would still do. You
because
would
like
still do.
and some
People
people
would
would
think.
some people would
People
take
would.
this this
Okay.
entire
Wait.
thing and divide it against this, versus some people would just do this and divide it against this. And
Oh.
those are two like massive because
Yeah.
writing it out like this is actually a short like the way you're supposed to write it would be it would be like 3 plus. Why did I make this so fucking complicated? 4 2
We also don't have to do a
x to the
math
power
tutorial
2
right now.
and then 5 y to the power 4. Like is it that or is it
You don't
Yeah.
have to write it
I
out
mean,
every way for
that's
us.
still PIMDAS.
But you, no, no,
But
no.
yeah, I get what you.
But this versus like this dividing thing. Some people reads it as this half the equation versus this half,
Right. Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
might have actually been written out as like 3 plus 4. So this is
Oh,
like a
so
good
the way
example.
that they wrote it out is where people. It's not
Yeah, so it's
actually like.
actually yeah. So some
Okay,
people
I get
would
what
do
you.
it
I get you.
like one side against the, and then this is like the other way, which would be 3 plus,
That's why
and then
everyone should
yeah.
learn latex. All right, everyone should know. This is a PSA. Latex is a library. It's not even a library. It's just a thing. It's a language. Lets you write out math functions. It's very handy.
A lot more
Unified.
clean.
It's how whenever you
Honestly,
see like a equation on text, you know,
yeah,
or like
yeah,
a
yeah.
little workbook. That's what it is.
I always
Everybody can.
honestly, for me, I just put so many fucking brackets around things to like
I do that
make
to
the
be
order
safe
of
too.
operations
Yeah.
like so fucking obvious. And it's like this and then that, like whenever
Yeah.
I'm in Nuke and I'm like, I don't know what TCL does, and I just start putting brackets around like this operation and then this and then this.
It's
Um,
usually good to do that alone because it's cleaner to read for other people.
Right.
yeah, and it takes only 2 seconds just to make sure that it's working correctly. Yeah, like who cares?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think dividing was the big one, and then also multiplying. I mean, like the same idea. One half the equation versus the other versus just like two numbers.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
And then you had morons that just fucked up PEMDAS as a general rule.
I actually learned something interesting too. That PEMDAS actually is very. You can actually change the rules of PEMDAS, and it all still works. All math still works. It's kind of arbitrary, but like it's a
But
standard.
as long as you're always going, as long as you follow the same rules within itself, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, you could like if like I guess you say you could change the order of operations, and the triangles will still be a triangle. You know what I mean? Like it's really it's kind of an abstract thing. I've been kind of learning about math again, but like there's
I'm
a
sure
world.
there's very specific rules because I
There's a
don't think
world
you
where
can
you
just.
could like the equations are all different. Like the way the formulas as we know are all different and rearranged, but they still it's kind of like elegant. You know what I mean? Like if you were to if you were to switch the order of operations for everything, you'll
But I
get
mean, like,
completely different results for everything, but it's all consistently like the
oh,
core
it's
theorems still
the
work.
difference.
It's like
The equivalent values are all
it's
correct.
yeah, it's super weird. Yeah, it's like a weird like
And
math
there's
is
probably
just
some real nerdy math reason that you should use that, and
yeah. There's some like
and some genius was like, "Oh yeah, I use that all the time." Of course, are you an idiot? Yeah,
yeah,
it's so easy.
yeah.
It's like
I don't even use PIMDA. I do it this way because my brain just thinks this way. Yeah. And then I
yeah,
switch
and
it back
his
to
way of doing it
the
is like
uh,
equating it to like 3D geometry on a
yeah,
a single uniform sphere extruded around 4D space. Ah!
yeah.
I
That's too much
remember.
for me.
I think Bezos has a story where he was like struggling with um he's like having a lot of trouble. Like this was back when he was in university. He was having a whole bunch of trouble with math homework because at one point he wanted to be either a mathematician or a physicist or do theoretical stuff, and he was like having all this trouble with like this problem. So he went and saw like a friend of a friend who was like this genius kid, and he was able to solve like this issue in like 4 seconds that Bezos had been working on for like 2 months. And he was just like, "Oh yeah, I just solved it in my head like this," and yeah. Some people are just built different.
Is that where you
Yep.
quit math? He's like, you know what? I'm gonna be a trillionaire instead.
Yeah. So drop out of school, kids.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, one on the last note on this, because of all these tools now, you have ChatGPT, you have this iPad thing. What a time to be in school, man! Like,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Especially the Apple stuff that's coming out. Like that's going to make stuff so much even crazier. I mean, we've
like
already
this
have,
stuff that we're doing here.
Yeah.
Literally writing the show your work. I did show my work. Look, it's just
Hey, I did it for me. I think that's
Yeah,
the problem right now is there's not this. There should be this huge investment wave of being like, how do we have teachers have them learning materials to deal with the fact that the kids are going to use AI because their phone is going to come
Right.
with it like integrated like
yeah.
you're I'm sure we're if not even if the next generation of can already do it, taking a photo of your math homework and your phone solving it for you. Like I'm sure that will be
I think that's already a thing. Yeah,
I'm
I think
I'm sure that's a thing. So like the fact that we're not already, I mean, we already had, it's already well documented, just like the reading levels and like a lot of the levels and a lot of what are the studies called that are like arithmetic, math, physics? Anyways,
I
a
get
lot
what
of
you mean. Yeah.
yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of like education levels are significantly lower because of COVID, and like
Mhm.
than they were 10 years ago.
I
People
can't
are
wait
talking
to
about how they
be.
have like 10-year-olds that don't have reading comprehension, or like 14-year-olds that don't have the reading comprehension of what 8-year-olds should have, which is crazy
Right.
to me.
But
I
they
don't
all
really get
can
that one.
dance really well now.
Yeah, but they all got TikTok accounts. They all want to be Mr. Beast.
Yeah. I can't wait to
Yeah,
be on my
so
deathbed and have my doctor pull up his iPhone and take a picture of my wounds, asking it what to do.
Hey Siri, what do I do? I
Dot
would lose
GPT
it.
says it's cancer.
Siri says it's cancer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just a flash goes off too. It's like, oh yeah, you got cancer. Oh
Uh,
no.
He's got
Oh
to
I mean,
sit
wait.
like
through an
I know we
ad.
joke about it, but that's such
Do
a
you hear him
potential
that
like.
he hasn't paid for the app, so he's got to watch like a mobile ad of a game.
Yeah.
And he's got to play for like 30 seconds.
Hold
What's
on.
I mean, the reality is probably we'll be doing that ourselves to our own. There'll be no doctors. We'll just be
Yeah.
like, yeah, talk to her. You see that there some hospitals are looking at hospitals, like some organizations are looking at having like robot people as AI assistants, so you can still interact with the physical.
No.
Yeah, seems a bit much, but
Yeah.
someone's throwing money at it and thinking that's what the future is.
Maybe it's a
that
thing
sounds
for
like some
older
smart
people
kids
too.
pitched some billionaire some startup idea,
That's kind of
I
like
guess
and
that's
now
what I'm
they've
saying. Like
got
someone's
some good funding for the next 5 to 6 years.
yeah,
Before
yeah.
they realize it's a scam. Um,
Because I don't see people liking that. That's like,
I could see older people maybe like where it's
yeah,
like oh just
People
type
that
in the
aren't
computer,
that
Susan,
can't
and they're like
connect
I don't
with a
trust those things, but then it's like this robot like Susan, you are going to die. She's like okay, I get it.
I don't
You
think
know?
that's
That's an extreme
oh,
yeah,
I
example,
just
I
thought
fair.
of the
guess.
best idea. This is our other business idea, not the
No.
secret one that we're working on. The other one, new one.
Mm.
It's
I don't even remember the previous. Oh god.
meta-human AI assistants. All we
Like
have to
that's
do is
not
make
already
a
being made.
no. Here's how we package. We package it up as we got metahumans, right? We just steal those, right? We don't have to make it.
Right.
We plug it
Done.
into OpenAI's API, right?
Mhm.
Make a funky little animation based on what it says. Market that. Say, hey, look, this one talks to you like an AI, and it has a little face moving around. It looks photoreal. It's a metahuman.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know what?
I think
Slap
that
my
would be
name on that
there.
one too, Curry. You work it
Yeah.
up. I'll take. Calvin, you want in?
I want
Mr.
30%.
30%. All right, I'll take.
How
I'll
about
take
25?
30. Now we'll each
I'll
take
take
30. You can
25.
take
As long as I
30.
don't have to do anything, I'll take 25.
All right.
All right.
I'll go down to 25 too. Colton's not here, so he gets nothing. That's how our laws work. Oh, boy. Well,
It's funny.
that's our show, folks. Thanks for
That's
tuning
all.
in for another one. I hope you learned some math operations. I sure didn't. I'm just gonna write down on my iPad now.
Just
Yeah.
if you learned
Is
anything
that
from what the math is saying, when you're not sure, more brackets. More brackets always fixes any problem.
and they're called parentheses, by the way.
Oh, right, brackets are different.
Oh, that's what
Apparently,
the P.
it's a language thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But the rounds,
Learn more.
parentheses, brackets are.
The square ones.
But then people, but
It's
another
it's
language, you
insane.
call them square brackets or round brackets. So it's
That's because when I was in
Oh, weird.
like learning
Mhm.
order operations, they called it bed mass because it was brackets instead of the P.
Yeah, yeah.
bed mass.
I remember bed mass as well.
Yeah.
I remember it being brackets.
bed.
Anyways, we're not going back
Pim-
in the math rant. Goodbye, everybody. Good to see you.
Welcome to the
PIMDAs
Pen-Based
bed
Podcast.
bedmas.